Did you know that Orchard Road is more than just a shopping haven? Beneath its glittering facade and traces of historic plantation roots lie untold stories that unveil a different side of this vibrant boulevard. Are you ready to discover Orchard Road's best kept secrets?
Rolling? Hi everyone, I'm Neil Patil, co-founder and chief operating officer at Veena World. I'm also a father and a very curious traveler. I'm on a mission to explore Singapore. Why Singapore? Well, it's because Singapore was the first country that I ticked off my travel bucket list, and after 35 odd trips to Singapore, I still feel I haven't seen Singapore fully. But if I'm to explore Singapore, I really need a local expert. Enter RJ.
Hi, I'm RJ, Area Director of the Singapore Tourism Board and your go-to guy for everything that's local and legendary. I've been in India for 2 years now, and when Neil came to me and said, I want to know more about Singapore, I thought I might just know the guy for you. So here we are, uncovering hidden gems and tracing everything that makes Singapore so special to the both of us.
Join me and Renjie as we dive into the evolution of Orchard Road, uncovering its hidden stories and vibrant present.
So Renjie, the last time in our episode on Little India, we ended it with talking about Orchard Road. And I asked you to give me 3 words to describe Orchard
Yes.
Road. You mentioned those 3 words as botanical, multi-level and historical.
Historical,
right?
that's right, yeah.
So let's start this episode with botanical.
Yeah.
Why did you use that word to describe Orchard Road?
So a lot of people don't associate the name Orchard Road with its original meaning, why it's called Orchard Road.
Okay.
But it's called Orchard Road because it used to be orchards, plantations pretty much. And it used to be a lot of nutmeg plantations, which is a lot of how, that area first became wealthy, that area first became an area of note, right? And even today, if you go to Orchard Road, there's this one spot at the corner of where Ion Orchard is, which is a big
Yes.
shopping mall. There's a monumental sculpture, beautiful one, of nutmeg. The fruit of the nutmeg itself, so it's sliced open, you see the flesh and you see the red mace, as well as the nut inside. And I always love bringing people there because it's just such a wonderful way to show people the origins of what is otherwise today a very glitzy, boutique line, kind of world-famous shopping district.
If you just look at that sculpture, you probably won't realize this history, and I'm glad that you are doing this deep dive in there. So that's botanical. Why is it historical, or what is the history of Orchard Road?
The history of Orchard Road?
Yeah.
So maybe what would be useful to talk about is how Orchard Road even came to be, right?
Yeah.
So as we said, it used to be plantations. And when you have a plantation, you need to have a road cut through it, hence Orchard Road, right? When you have a road cut through it, then you start building really nice houses, plantation homes, bungalows, mansions on it, right?
Yeah.
When you have really nice homes, then you want to start having stores built to serve that area, right? And one of the older stores in the region is actually called CK Tang. It was built in 1937 and it's still there today. It's a big department store and right in the heart of Orchard Road. Today a lot of the old homes, plantation bungalows and so on have been replaced by very nice boutiques and malls and so on. But there's this one part of Orchard Road where you can still see a little bit of this residential character, and it's a place called Emerald Hill.
Okay.
Now, Emerald Hill is an alley off of Orchard Road, and you see a lot of these old Chinese shophouse architecture that was built at the turn of the century. They're very ornate, almost Baroque, right? So beautiful ceramic tiles, very colorful. And a lot of these have been now turned into boutiques, have been turned into bars and restaurants. You may have heard of the name Number 5 on Emerald Hill.
I think I've seen it on a few lists.
Yeah, so Number 5 on Emerald Hill, if you ask any Singaporean, is probably their first introduction to going out to a bar to have a nice drink. Because Emerald Hill and Number 5 on Emerald Hill is famous for 2 things. One, they have great martinis. So they have a dizzying array of different flavored martinis. They've got great happy hours, so 1-for-1 martinis pretty much throughout the day that you go there. And it's in this beautiful, old, ornate Baroque shophouse structure. And the second thing that it's really famous for are the peanut shells. So they serve peanuts. You eat the peanuts for free, obviously, and you toss the peanut shells on the floor. It's one of the few places in Singapore where you can do this.
Is that a tradition of the place?
I don't know that's a tradition, but it's a vibe, I will say. So I love going there and bringing friends there. But yeah, I mean, in the middle of a long day of shopping, it's a really nice way of, just sitting down, having a drink, and seeing this historical side to Orchard Road as well.
I guess when you look at Orchard Road today, and if you're just standing on Orchard Road, you don't realize that there is so much history that is associated with Orchard Road. The third thing you mentioned was multi-level. Why did you use these words?
So multi-level, because I think when you think of Orchard Road, you think of the street itself. So street level, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely a beautiful place. You can walk up and down Orchard Road, tree-lined boulevards, very, very nice and clean. But what a lot of people don't realize is that much of what makes Orchard Road such a special place is the underground. Because you have all these passages and the underground departments, I guess, of the shopping malls that connect both sides of Orchard Road. And these are lined with shops. These are bustling. These are always full of AC, first of all. In tropical Singapore, very important. And so you have this underground life to Orchard Road as well, in addition to the ground floor. And of course, the malls are also built upwards, right? And there's this one part that I love in Orchard Road where it's a mall called Orchard Gateway, and it's the only mall that actually has two sides to it, one on each side of Orchard Road, and connecting both sides is a glass skyway. It's kind of like an overhead pedestrian bridge that's full of glass, it's made with glass, and it's called the Tube. But right in the middle of it, you look down, you have the perfect view of Orchard Road and all the glitzy malls. And they also do have a little decal that shows you essentially the same view from 100 years ago. So you get to see this nice old historical structure. So yeah, basement level, like ground floor, and then above are different ways, I would say, to experience Orchard Road that people don't think about.
And then would this structure that gives you a great view of Orchard Road be a good place to go to during Christmas, because Orchard Road is lit up during Christmas?
The Christmas light up? Yeah, absolutely. So one of my earliest memories of going down Orchard Road is during Christmas. My parents would drive us down Orchard Road just to see the light up. And the malls really outdo each other in terms of who can do the best light up. So it's always a fascinating time. And yes, that would be a fantastic time. But all throughout the year, you get a really, really different sort of iconic view of Orchard Road.
So now that we've covered the botanical side of it, the historical side of it, and the multi-level side of it, which has convinced not only me, but anyone listening to this that don't just go down Orchard Road and tick it off. Like, walk around the basement 2 that might be there, and all of that. One problem I always face when I'm on Orchard Road is that Orchard Road is home to more than 500 restaurants.
At least 500,
right? And after a day of shopping or walking around, you want to have a good meal. I'm always scared that the restaurant that I'll pick from these 500 will not give me the best experience. So what are some of your suggestions on that?
So I'll answer your question, but I think this warrants a whole other conversation. So how about we do a whole other episode? But in the meantime, I will say 2 things. 1, definitely go underground. And 2, go to the family restaurants. So I'll leave it as that.
So then let's do the next episode on eating at shopping centers in Singapore. Something like that.
Refueling, like a pit stop throughout the day.
And 2 words to describe it, or 2 things to describe that: basement and family restaurants. Awesome. So let's end this episode and we'll meet for the next one soon.
I'm hungry already.